Hey everyone! You know, in every employment contract, there's this word that has a huge impact on your money, but it often gets overlooked. That word is vesting. Now, if your benefits package has things like a 401k or stock options, getting a handle on this isn't just a nice to have, it's absolutely essential for building your wealth. So let's break it all down. All right, we're going to tackle this with a really clear, five-part approach. First up, we'll nail down what vesting even is. Second, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of how it actually works. Third, we'll look at the different kinds of schedules you might see. Fourth, we'll run through a real-world example so you can see it in action. And finally, we'll tie it all together to show you why this is so critical for your career moves and your bank account.
But before we dive in, let me ask you this. You ever look at your benefit statement and see that big, impressive number? The total value of your retirement account or your stock grants? You might think, wow, that's all mine. But is it? If you decided to leave your job tomorrow, could you take all of that with you? Well, for a lot of people, the answer is no. And the reason for that is vesting.
Okay, let's get right into it. Section 1. What in the world is vesting? We're going to follow the answer first principle here and just give you the core definition, straight up.
So here's the official definition. At its heart, vesting is just the process of earning the right to keep the benefits your employer gives you. The key word to focus on here is non-forfeitable. That's a fancy way of saying once you're vested, that money is yours, period. Nobody can take it away. Think of it like this. Your employer puts some treasure, like stock or 401k matching funds, into a locked chest for you. Vesting is you slowly earning the key to that chest. Until you're fully vested, that treasure is forfeitable, meaning if you leave, poof, it could be gone.
So you might be wondering, why do companies even do this? Well, from their point of view, it's a brilliant way to keep good people around. By making you wait to get full ownership of your benefits, they're giving you a pretty big reason to stick around longer. It's a reward for loyalty, and it helps stop their top talent from jumping ship. You'll sometimes hear this called golden handcuffs. The benefits are so valuable, it would be financially painful to leave before you're fully vested.
Okay, moving on to Section 2. Let's dig into how vesting actually plays out. Now, to get this, you have to make a really important distinction. You need to split all the money in your benefits account into two separate buckets, your money and their money.
So, in the first bucket, you've got your contributions. That's the cash that comes right out of your paycheck and goes into your 401k. Simple enough. In the second bucket, you've got the employer's contributions. This is the good stuff, the free money, right? The matching dollars, the profit sharing, the stock grants. If you don't get this fundamental split, none of the rest of this will make sense. This separation is everything.
And that brings us to the single most important rule in this whole discussion. Let me be crystal clear here. Any money that you put in from your own paycheck is always 100%, without a doubt, yours from day one. It's immediately vested the second it hits your account. No ifs, ands, or buts. No company can ever touch that money no matter what.
Which, of course, brings us to the other side of the coin. The entire idea of vesting, the schedules we're talking about, it all applies to the money your employer puts in. Those matching funds, those stock units. That's the part of your compensation that comes with some strings attached. So the vesting schedule is just the rule book that tells you how and when you get to finally cut those strings.
And that leads us perfectly into Section 3, the schedules themselves. Now, companies usually pick one of two main ways to grant you ownership over time. Just think of them as two different roads that both lead to the same place, 100% ownership.
And here are those two roads. On one side, you have cliff vesting. This is an all-or-nothing deal. You work for a specific amount of time, and then on one single day, you suddenly own 100% of the benefits. On the other side is graded vesting. This is more of a step-by-step approach where you gain ownership a little bit at a time over a few years. Cliff vesting is definitely higher risk for you as the employee, while graded is a bit safer. Let's look at an example of each.
Okay, let's imagine your company has a 3-year cliff schedule. You join, you work your tail off for a full year, and you own exactly 0% of your employer's contributions. You work for 2 years, 2 years and 364 days, you still own 0%. You can see that money piling up in your account, but it's not yours yet. Then, on your 3rd work anniversary, bam! You instantly become 100% vested in everything they've put in. It's super high stakes. If you leave just one day early, you walk away with absolutely nothing from the company.
Now, let's compare that to a typical graded vesting schedule. In this example, it's a 6-year plan. So, after year 1, you're still at 0%. But on your 2nd anniversary, you become 20% vested. You now own a fifth of everything the company has contributed.
And every year after that, your ownership goes up by another 20% until you hit 100% at the end of year 6. It's a lot less risky for you since you start locking in some value after year 2, but it's also designed to make you want to stay for the long haul.
All right, theory is one thing, but let's make this real. For Section 4, we're going to apply what we've just learned to a situation you might actually find yourself in, so you can see the real financial impact of these schedules.
Okay, so picture this. You're doing a fantastic job at work. And for your annual bonus, instead of cash, the company gives you stock. This happens all the time, especially in the tech world.
And let's put a number on it. The company grants you 100 restricted stock units, or RSUs. Basically, each RSU is one share of company stock. But, and this is a big but, you don't actually own them yet. Your ownership is tied to a vesting schedule.
So in our example, the company uses a 5-year graded schedule. Now, it's pretty common to see a 1-year cliff at the start, just like this. That's so new hires don't just grab their stock grant and leave right away. After that first year, 25 shares vest each year. So by the time you finish your 3rd year, you have legal ownership of 50 shares total.
Now for the big question. What if, right after your 3rd anniversary, you get an amazing job offer you just can't refuse and you decide to leave? Of those original 100 stock units, how many do you actually get to keep?
The answer is it's split right down the middle. You were 50% vested, so you get to walk away with 50 units of stock. They are yours, you can sell them, you can hold on to them, whatever you want. But the other 50 units, the unvested half, they're forfeited. They go right back to the company and you lose them for good. You know, if that stock was trading at, say, $100 a share, that decision to leave just cost you $5,000. That's vesting in action.
So we've covered the what, the how, and the when. We've come to the most important part of this whole thing, the so what. Why does any of this actually matter for your career and your money?
Look, here's the bottom line. Knowing this stuff is power. For starters, it should absolutely influence when you decide to change jobs. I mean, if you're only a few months away from a big vesting date, waiting it out could mean thousands of extra dollars in your pocket. It also helps you really compare job offers. A higher salary might look great, but if you're giving up a ton of unvested stock, you might actually be taking a pay cut. Ultimately, understanding your vesting schedule tells you what your benefits are really worth and keeps you from accidentally leaving a pile of money behind.
Okay, one last really important point. Being 100% vested means you own the money. It's yours. It does not mean you can take it out whenever you want. For retirement accounts like a 401k, you still have to play by the IRS rules. And that generally means you can't touch the money without a penalty until you're 59 and a half. So remember, ownership and access are 2 different things.
And that brings us to the end. You now know how vesting works. You get the concepts, you get the schedules, you get what's at stake. But the biggest question is still out there. Do you know the specifics of your own vesting schedule? For your 401k match? For your stock options? If the answer is no, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to go find out. Pull up your plan documents, talk to HR, and take control of your financial future.